My boss handed me $1 million. His exact words? Go gamble it in the market. This was the late 90s. You could smell hot plastic from the modems. Screens full of charts shooting up like rockets. He wore cufflinks with the company logo. Only smiled when someone owed him money. He wanted more, faster, and me? I just wanted to prove I was as sharp as I kept telling myself I was. I was in my 20s, just a business analyst eating vending machine dinners, watching after-hours quotes crawl across the screen. I tracked everything. Earnings dates, float sizes, lockup expirations. Even how rumors started on message boards before TV ever picked them up. He noticed. Soon I wasn't just cleaning data sets. I was in his office, talking strategy, talking about how to ride the bubble, or maybe outsmart it. He called it an opportunity fund. I called it a fire hazard. Go heavier, riskier, he told me. He wanted froth, billion-dollar valuations with no revenue. I nodded. I got it. Confidence was theater, but quiet confidence isn't the same as loud greed. So I drafted a simple agreement. 20% of profits, signed and witnessed. He barely looked at it. He thought the only way was up. I kept my face calm. My stomach? Not so calm. We bought calls on companies selling eyeballs and engagement. Flipped them into momentum. But in my real hours, I tracked the cracks. Exhaustion gaps after parabolic runs. Insiders filing secondaries. Traffic numbers that didn't match the hype. Nothing grows forever. So it stopped being about riding the mania. It became about spotting the exits. I started shorting quietly. If he heard the word short, he'd hear disloyal. So I hedged, bit by bit. From far away, the portfolio sparkled. Up close, broken glass. It felt like cheating, but honestly, the market was the one cheating, promising free lunches to anyone dumb enough to believe in infinite growth. I learned to watch a stock rip 10% against me and just breathe. He kept pushing. Size in, don't be timid. And I did. Technically. But underneath, I stitched in protection. Like a second skin under a rented tuxedo. The louder he bragged about paper gains, the harder I worked on the quiet part no one saw. Then the air changed. You could feel it. Irrational exuberance stopped being a warning and started sounding like prophecy. Lockups expired. Insiders quit pretending. Gravity finally found the bubble. The accounts swung hard. For him, it was volatility. For me, inevitable. All those shorts, hedges, the puts I bought when everyone laughed, suddenly they weren't insurance, they were engines. The numbers started leaping. One morning I totaled it up. 1.35 million, net, real money, sitting there. So I booked time with him, printed the statements, neat summaries, handed them over like a trophy. He barely blinked. Good, he said. Wire it back. Before we do, I said, there's the agreement, 20% of profits. He'd signed it, but his face hardened. He called it timing. Said it applied to net results of the entire program, then offered me a token bonus, less than a used car. I pointed to his signature. For a second, I thought we were talking about the same reality. Instead, he launched into loyalty, teamwork. You're young, you don't get it. Translation, I don't pay people. I take credit. He blew up over a $70,000 line item, like a man screaming about a coffee stain while the roof's on fire. Then he barked, wire the cash back. End of day. No deductions, no discussion. I left his office calm on the outside, steady on the inside. I remembered him bragging once about stiffing contractors. They'll always come back. They always do. And something in me clicked. So I did exactly what he asked. Wired back 1.35 million. Clean. Full. Done. Then I went quiet. What he didn't realize? We had other trades still open. Trades I'd set up weeks earlier. He never asked. He didn't remember. He thought the story ended just because he said so. But the market doesn't care about his story. Gravity kept working, and those trades bloomed. Hedges turned into harvest, puts paid, Borrowed shares crashed back to earth. I watched the numbers pile up, calm, steady. When it was done, after costs, the total was 1.8 million. I never touched his accounts, never moved a cent that wasn't his by plain reality. Kept records like I was expecting an audit. The phone? Silent. He never asked, not once. Work just went on. He called me loyal, told people I was solid, which meant useful, quiet. So I kept the machine humming while he practiced looking inevitable. At night, I checked my accounts like I was listening for footsteps. Nothing. Silence. I knew what I'd done and what I hadn't. I'd left his money pristine. What I kept was only what lived in the blind spot his arrogance created. That felt like balance. Time slid by. The bubble dust settled. The company shrank. Headcount down. Budget slashed. Even the plants disappeared. He blamed everything but the mirror. Macro conditions. Competitors. Employees who didn't believe hard enough. I stayed 3 years, long enough to see the pattern repeat. Promises made, then broken. Contracts treated like suggestions. Bills stretched from 90 days to never. To him, loyalty was gravity. It only pulled one way. He loved retelling the story of how we won big and sent it all back. Looked at me like I should be grateful. I nodded when I had to, smiled without my eyes. Meanwhile, the money I hadn't returned, because he never asked, just sat there, quiet. No yachts, no toys. I bought time, margin, the right to walk away when walking away was the only honest move. Eventually I did. Shook hands, signed papers, turned in my badge. He told me I'd always have a place there. I told him I appreciated the opportunity, and for once I meant it. Just not the way he thought. People from that time still call me loyal. They remember that I wired back every dollar, that I kept the ship steady. They don't know what else I kept. They don't know the bonus he never gave me grew into proof that greed can't see past its own reflection. Do I feel guilty? I've asked myself. I replay him signing the agreement without reading. I replay him telling me to send it all back, no exceptions. To him, loyalty meant obedience. To me, it meant staying aligned with reality. So no, I don't feel righteous. I don't feel guilty. I just feel clear. Sometimes I think about the market back then. Dial-up screeching. Analysts inventing new metrics just to keep the fantasy alive. It's easy to believe you're unstoppable when the numbers agree with you. But gravity always shows up. He never learned that. The company folded into something bigger. The logo swallowed by another logo until nobody remembered it. Those cufflinks? Probably in a drawer somewhere. Heavy, useless. My life got lighter. I don't need applause. I don't need permission. I value quiet. Rules I can actually live with. And the guts to stick to them, even when someone waves a shiny object. If there's a moral, it's this. Write it down. Read what you sign. Don't confuse someone else's urgency for your destiny. When the room screams, up only. Remember gravity. Remember the quiet. Remember to breathe. And if the boss demands you send it all back, no matter what he owes you, wire it back. Keep your records clean. And let his greed do the rest. That's what I did. And yeah, I sleep fine.